Please help me, she whispered, her voice weak and quivering. They'll kill me and my baby. Lila stepped back, fear crawling up her spine. Her body shook, and her legs longed to run, but the creature's sorrowful eyes held her still. Lila was a humble woman from the coastal town of Kavira. She lived in a small wooden shack with holes in the roof, constantly worried about how to feed her two young sons. Her husband had died many years ago in a fishing accident, and since then, she had faced life's burdens alone. One early morning, before the sun peeked over the hills, Lila took her clay jug and went to fetch water from the stream that flowed near the edge of Kavira. The birds had just begun their morning calls, and the cool breeze whispered over her skin as she followed the narrow trail through the palm groves. She liked going to the stream early, before the others arrived, so she could return home in time to make yam porridge before the boys woke. When she reached the water's edge, she filled her jug with the cool, clean stream water and carefully hoisted it onto her head. The weight was familiar to her as she had carried heavier burdens before. But that day, instead of taking the usual wide road home, Lila chose the shortcut that ran behind the old banana fields. It was quicker, and she was eager to beat the heat of the rising sun. As she neared a bend in the trail, she noticed 3 men standing beneath a neem tree. They were dressed in forest green, rifles slung over their shoulders, with large leather satchels strapped to their backs. "Good morning," she greeted them politely. The men responded without looking at her, their voices cold and distracted by laughter and conversation. Lila continued past them, but her ears caught a disturbing snippet of their exchange. "We're finally going to be rich," one of the men chuckled. "A pregnant siren from the coral spring. Double pay for both her and the unborn." Another added, "They say the child of a siren holds rare power. The buyer from Lakora will pay anything." Lila's heart thudded against her ribs. A pregnant siren? Sell her? She hurried away, confused and alarmed, her mind swirling with questions. Could it be true? Had they really captured a creature from the legends? Her feet moved faster as her thoughts raced. She soon reached the narrow footpaths leading to her house, but chose instead to cut through a quieter grove to avoid the hunters. As she weaved through the thick foliage, a soft, pained cry stopped her. "Help, help me," came the voice again, barely audible. She froze, her breath caught in her throat. Placing her jug quietly on the grass, she moved toward the sound. And there, behind a clump of dense bamboo, she saw her. A breathtaking woman, her hair long and damp, her skin glistening like the surface of the sea at dawn. She was tied tightly to a tree, her stomach round with pregnancy. But what made Lila stumble backward in shock was the lower half of the woman's body. Instead of legs, she had a sleek, silvery tail, its scales dull and bruised. Lila stood frozen, a real siren. "Please help me. They're coming back to take me away," the siren begged, tears flowing down her cheeks. Lila's entire body trembled. She had heard the stories. Sirens who lured fishermen to watery graves, creatures said to steal souls with their songs. But this siren didn't look like a monster. She looked like a mother, desperate and broken. Looking around and seeing no one, Lila stepped forward. Her voice was low. "Are you really a siren?" The woman nodded faintly. "Yes, they captured me last night when I surfaced to sing to my baby. I didn't know they were there." Her voice cracked. "Please, I beg you." Lila's heart ached as she saw bruises on the siren's arms and how she shivered from the morning cold. Suddenly, Leela heard voices, men's voices drawing closer. The hunters. They're coming, the siren whispered in terror. Lila's mind spun. If they caught her there, they might hurt her too. But she couldn't leave the siren like this. Her hands reached for the thick rope. It was knotted tight and rough, biting into her fingers. Please, please. The siren whimpered. Lila's heart pounded as she worked, her ears tuned to the approaching voices. She tugged at the knots, fingers trembling, breath catching. They'll be here soon. Let's grab her and go. One hunter's voice said, now dangerously close. Lila panicked. The water jug she had set down was visible. If they saw it, they'd know someone had been there. She ducked behind a large tree, hiding just in time. The siren cried silently, eyes locked on Lila, both of them holding their breath. Then, just as one hunter started to move toward the bamboo grove, another shouted, "Look, an antelope!" The other spun around. "Where?" "Over there, heading toward the salt flats." In a frenzy, the hunters chased after it, shouting and stomping through the dry brush, rifles raised high. Leela blinked in disbelief, a miracle. She leapt from her hiding spot and rushed to the siren's side. "Now, we have to go now," she whispered urgently. She fumbled with the last of the rope, her fingers raw and shaky. "Thank you," the siren whispered, her voice barely audible. At last, the ropes slipped loose. The siren slumped, exhausted, against the tree. Leela looked around. The men were still shouting in the distance. This was their only chance. She had no idea how far she could help a siren escape, or if the stories about them were true. But as she looked at the frightened mother before her, Leela knew one thing: her life would never be the same again.